The paper in my hand feels light. It is just a standard letter-sized sheet. That immaculate white paper that smells of laser printer toner. The kind they use in these air-conditioned offices that hum softly. But damn, it feels like I'm holding a granite tombstone. I look up at my only son, Stephen, 28 years old. His navy blue Armani suit fits his slim but toned body perfectly. A body that has never known the feeling of carrying a 100-pound truck tire. He sits with his legs crossed, and the tip of his shiny leather shoe moves up and down to the rhythm of feigned patience. Miller? Are you seriously going to erase Miller from your life, Stephen? My voice comes out raspy, dense like the sound of an old engine lacking oil. My throat tastes bitter. Stephen lets out a sigh, one of those sighs full of boredom, reserved for a senile old man. He reaches for his wrist to adjust his gold cufflinks, the gift I gave him the day he graduated with his master's degree. Dad, please, do not make a scene, he says with a cold voice, without a single ripple of emotion. Miller sounds like grease. It sounds like a mechanic shop, like sweat, like being poor. It sounds like a man who wipes his nose with his shirt sleeve. He pauses, tilting his head to look at me as if he were analyzing a defective architectural blueprint. On the other hand, Montgomery. Stephen Montgomery. Do you hear it? It has class. It has a future. My fiancée and her partners cannot associate with a last name so common. It is a matter of branding, Dad. You would not understand. Branding? That damn corporate word coming out of his mouth again. I look down at my hands resting on the gleaming glass table. Calloused hands. Thick calluses. Cracks that, no matter how much soap I use, never get completely clean. There is always that black trace of oil accumulated over 40 years. These rough fingers have taken apart thousands of engines. They have tightened millions of screws to earn every single dollar that fed him. Anger explodes in my chest. Burning like a furnace, I slam the paper against the table hard. Bam! That common last name paid for your degree abroad, you ungrateful brat. These grease-filled hands gave you that soft skin you have. Do you think money fell from the sky? It fell from this last name. Mr. Henderson, sitting at the head of the table, shudders slightly and adjusts his glasses, but he dares not say a peep. He knows my temper. But Stephen is not afraid. He does not even blink. Exactly, Stephen replies with a voice sharp as a scalpel. And I do not need them any more. Those hands have already served their purpose. Now, I need you to sign the transfer of the company under my new legal name. Forget about seeing your future grandchildren. I do not want them to carry your stigma. I freeze. Stigma. He calls my blood a stigma, my father's blood, my ancestors' blood, a stain. Are you blackmailing me with my grandchildren? I ask, my voice trembling. It is not blackmail. It is brand protection. Stephen stands up, buttoning his jacket, radiating that upper-class air he craves so much. The Montgomerys are a dynasty of architects and developers. The Millers fix the Montgomerys' cars. You decide which side of history you want to be on. He pushes the paper toward me, along with an expensive Mont Blanc fountain pen. Sign it. You have until the engagement party. If there is no signature, there is no family. He turns around and leaves. His expensive cologne floods my nose, suffocating the inert smell of paper and ink. I stay there, alone in the middle of the immense office. The son I love the most has just killed me. Not with a bullet, but with a name change procedure. Damn it, he not only wants my money, he wants to erase my existence. Before we continue, subscribe to the Williams Revenge Stories channel, and tell us where you're listening from in the comments below. I walk out of the skyscraper, and the scorching Texas sun hits my face like a bucket of boiling water. But, how strange, I feel cold. An icy chill runs down my spine and gets into every bone of my old body. People say the greatest pain is losing a loved one. They are wrong. The greatest pain is when your loved one is still there, alive and kicking, but his soul has turned into a strange monster. I get into my '98 Ford F-150, old with paint faded by the sun and wind. The cracked leather seats with foam coming out. It looks out of place in this parking lot, full of Mercedes and BMWs. The guard looks at me with pity, as if I were an old peasant lost in a royal palace. Miller sounds like servants. Stephen's phrase repeats in my head like a stuck cassette tape. I look at myself in the rearview mirror. My face is furrowed by deep wrinkles, marks of the sun and hard work. My skin is weathered and dark, my eyes sunken and tired. Was I wrong? No, damn it. I have worked from sunup to sundown. I started as a helper sweeping the shop, enduring scoldings from the boss, with hot oil splashing my face. I skipped lunch for 5 years to save up and open my first shop. When my wife Emily died, giving birth to Stephen, I was fixing carburetors with my son strapped to my back. I remember the nights the boy had a high fever. I sat by his bed with hands still dirty with oil, afraid to touch him and stain his white skin. I swore to Emily's spirit, the boy will never have to crawl under a car like me. He will be the boss. He will be clean. And boy, is he clean now. So clean that he wants to wash away and erase this dirty father. I start the engine. The V8 roars with power, vibrating the whole chassis. This sound is music to me. It is my heartbeat. But for Stephen, it is just noise. Kill? So do you. I am dead, I mutter, repeating the question from a while ago. Socially, yes. Do not be offended. It is just business. Tears well up, hot, rolling down my cheeks, covered in stubble. I hit the steering wheel hard. The pain of the blow helps me wake up a little. I drive out of the luxurious downtown, heading toward the industrial zone on the outskirts. Over there is dust, noise, chaos. But that is my place. The city passes through the window. The cold glass and steel skyscrapers give way to rows of industrial warehouses with tin roofs, convenience stores, and working people sweating buckets. I feel like I am splitting in two. One half wants to run and hug my son, kneel down and beg him not to leave the family name, beg him not to leave me. The other half is lighting a dark flame, the fury of a wounded beast. My phone vibrates. Message from the bank, notification of the monthly transfer. For Stephen's expenses, $5,000. I keep sending them religiously, even though he graduated and has been working for 3 years. I want him to live comfortably. It is just business, he said. I look at the cell phone screen, my thumb trembling over the cancel recurring transfer button. But I stop. No, not yet. If I cut off the money now, he will make a scandal saying I'm a mean and stingy old man. He will have the perfect excuse to play the victim in front of his fiancée and her family. I need another plan, a plan worthy of this insult. I step on the gas and the truck shoots forward, leaving behind a cloud of black smoke, just like my soul right now. Dark and suffocated, the flickering neon sign appears before my eyes, Miller Diesel Specialists. The letter M burned out last week, but I haven't ordered it changed. Now that I see it, it seems ironic. Maybe it was an omen. I pull the truck into the yard. The smell of diesel, burnt rubber, and metal hitting metal fills my nose as soon as I open the door. For others it is a stench. For me it is the smell of daily bread, the smell of honesty. "Boss, you are here!" The shout resonates from ramp number 4. Jason, the foreman who has been with me for 20 years, is wiping his hands with an old black rag. He runs toward me, with a radiant smile revealing his super white teeth, contrasting with his stained face. "How did it go with the junior, Mr. Arthur? Did you convince him to leave that architect nonsense and come learn the real business?" Jason asks, with an enthusiastic voice. He always calls Stephen Jr. with genuine affection, even though Stephen has never deigned to greet Jason beyond what is necessary. I look at Jason. He is about Stephen's age, maybe a little younger. He wears his overalls full of grease, with Miller embroidered in red thread on his chest, the name my son threw in the trash. This stranger wears on his chest with pride. Good. It went well, Jason. I lie, with a broken voice. I do not have the courage to tell my employees that my son despises this place. Jason, who is very sharp, notices immediately that something is wrong. His smile fades. He looks me in the eyes, and then he lowers his gaze to my trembling hands. Boss, are you okay? You look pale. Do you want me to bring you an ice-cold Coke or a shot of whiskey? I'm fine, Jason. It is just that sometimes money does not buy loyalty, but it buys a lot of stupidity. Jason nods, thoughtful, understanding even if he does not know the details. Bless you, boss. You know that here is your family. Whatever you need, we are here. The boys and I. Family. That word stabs my heart again. These mechanics who eat from their lunchboxes, drink tap water, and work 12 hours a day to make me rich, consider me family. And my son of my own blood, the one who eats fine steaks and drinks French wine, sees me as an obsolete business partner. I walk along the huge industrial warehouse. The sound of impact guns goes clack-clack, crunching in the air. Country music comes out of an old speaker in the corner. I am still the king. I am the king here, king of this kingdom of scrap metal and oil. I stop in front of a semi-truck they're repairing. Mike, a young mechanic, is lying face up under the chassis. Seeing my shoes, he slides out. Mr. Arthur, we found the fault. It was the injection pump, just like you said. You have an ear. Like a wizard, boss. I force a smile and pat him on the shoulder. My hand leaves a dust mark on his shirt, but he does not even flinch. He stands firm, waiting for instructions. Good job, son. Finish it by tomorrow. The client needs to hit the road. Yes, boss. At your service. I enter my private office. It is on the mezzanine with a large window overlooking the whole shop. It is a simple office, just an old oak desk, a filing cabinet full of tax papers, and walls covered with model company diplomas and awards, and photos, many photos. Photo of Stephen at 1 month old, Stephen learning to walk, Stephen graduating from high school, Stephen receiving his architecture degree in Europe. In all the photos I appear by his side, smiling from ear to ear, hugging him with pride. And he, now that I look closely, I realize how forced his smile is. His gaze always avoids the camera, or looks away as if wanting to escape the frame where I appear. I drop into the leather armchair, feeling the relative silence of the soundproof room. I open the bottom drawer and take out the bottle of Family Reserve whiskey I had been saving for Stephen's wedding. I pour myself a full glass. No ice, no water, just the burning hit going straight to the brain. Stephen wants me to sign the transfer. He wants me to erase Miller Diesel Specialists to turn it into capital for his Montgomery Group real estate firm. He wants to sell the shop's land, throw people like Jason onto the street to build luxury condos for the rich. He thinks I am a senile old man who only knows how to obey his son. I drink the whiskey in one gulp. The bitter taste mixes with the saltiness of the tears I haven't dried. Montgomery. I whisper the name, tasting it on my tongue. It tastes tasteless. The landline rings. It is my personal secretary, Mr. Arthur. There is a call from Mr. Henderson's law firm. He asks if you want to review the 1980 trust file. I freeze. The 1980 file. The year I founded the company. The year Emily got pregnant. The year I drafted the first bylaws with all the innocence and hope of a young father. Bring it here. Immediately. Maybe, just maybe, the past is not as useless as Stephen thinks. By nightfall, the shop is almost empty. Only the old night watchman remains at the door. I am still in my office with the dim light of the lamp illuminating the yellowish file on the desk. The smell of old paper transports me 30 years back. Back then, I was not Mr. Arthur, the king of the shop. I was just Arthur, a mechanic poor as a rat, with hands always black. Emily, my wife, was the most beautiful woman in the neighborhood. She loved me not because I was rich, because I didn't have a dime, but because I had golden hands, as she used to say. Arthur, you can fix everything, she whispered to me while bandaging the cuts on my fingers. But promise me our son won't suffer like this. I promised, a fatal promise. When Emily died on the operating table from complications during childbirth, my world collapsed. I held that red, wrinkled baby in my arms. It was Stephen, and I cried until I ran dry. I looked at my hands, broad and rough, and swore to use those same ugly hands to build him a castle. I worked like a beast, from sunup to sundown. I fixed trucks by day and taxis by night. I slept more under cars than in my bed. I ate stale bread with water to save up and buy imported milk for Stephen. When he turned 6, I took him to the most expensive private school in the city. I remember that day like it was yesterday. I put on my cleanest clothes, but I couldn't hide my working-class look. When I led him by the hand to the entrance, the other parents, doctors, lawyers, businessmen looked at me like I was a strange bug. Stephen pulled his hand away. "Dad, your hands are very dirty," he said quietly. I looked down. Even though I had washed them with gasoline, the nails still had black traces. "Sorry, son, I will wait in the car." From that day on, I became his shadow. I paid for his piano lessons, French lessons, summer camps in Europe. I created a perfect world around him, isolating him from the smell of grease from the shop. I thought that was love. I was wrong. How stupid I was. I didn't raise a son, I raised a parasite. I sent him to rich schools so he would learn to despise his own origin. Every dollar I earned with sweat and tears became another brick in the wall that separated us. His visits home became scarce. Meals together were awkward. He never asked me, "Dad, did you get tired at work today?" He only asked, "Dad, did you deposit the money yet?" Or, "Dad, I need to trade in the car." I turned the pages of the trust file. Lawyer Henderson, although he is an old fox, back in the day was also my drinking buddy. He drafted these bylaws very carefully. Article 1. The trust is constituted to protect and maintain the prosperity of the Miller lineage. Article 2. The beneficiary must be a direct descendant. I scan the dry legal text, and then my eyes stop on some fine print, almost at the end. A clause I had almost forgotten, added at the last minute on my father's advice. Stephen's grandfather, an old-fashioned and very strict man. Clause 4, Identity Clause. To guarantee succession and respect for the family legacy, the administrator and sole beneficiary of the trust must bear the surname Miller, legally and biologically. Voluntary resignation, change, or rejection of this surname will be considered a tacit resignation of inheritance rights. My heart beats fast. Tacit resignation. I read the line over and over. A bitter smile draws on my lips. Turns out God does see everything. Or maybe my father saw the future. Stephen wants to change his name to be upper class. He wants to be a Montgomery. That is fine. I will give him what he wants. He will be a Montgomery. And a Montgomery has no right to touch a single penny of the Millers. I pick up the phone and call Henderson. It is 11 at night. But I know that old man doesn't sleep. "Arthur, did something happen?" "Henderson, start preparing the papers. I want to activate the blood clause, and I want to do it very discreetly. Are you sure, Arthur? This will destroy him. There will be no turning back." I look at the photo of Stephen smiling forcedly on the wall. My gaze turns cold, just like his was this afternoon. He already destroyed me, Henderson. He killed Miller. I am just going to bury Montgomery. Do it. I hang up. The darkness in the room seems to thicken, but I don't feel alone anymore. I feel a cruel emotion running through my veins. 2 days later. I decided to give Stephen one last chance. Maybe it was fatherly conscience. Or maybe I wanted to see with my own eyes how rotten the tree I planted was. I drive to Stephen's penthouse. It is on the 40th floor of the most luxurious tower in the city, the richest area. I bought this apartment last year. It is worth $2 million in the company's name to save on taxes, a trick Stephen insisted on doing. The private elevator takes me straight to the living room. The doors open and the excessive luxury hits me. White marble floors, crystal chandeliers, and abstract paintings I don't understand, but cost what I earn in a year. Stephen is not there. Only Vanessa is there, his fiancée. Vanessa is a pretty girl. No one denies it. Blonde, model body, daughter of an old money family, a family in decline. Her family has the name, the Montgomerys, but they ran out of cash. That is why she clings to my son. She is sitting on the white leather sofa, flipping through a fashion magazine with a glass of mimosa in her hand. Seeing me enter, she doesn't get up. She doesn't even smile. She only raises an eyebrow, as if I were the delivery guy who arrived at the wrong time. Mr. Arthur, her voice is sweet but icy. Stephen is in a meeting with investors. Coming without warning, I stand in the middle of the living room, feeling out of place in my simple khaki clothes. I need to talk to my son. And with you, Vanessa. She puts down the glass, crosses her arms. A defensive but haughty posture. Look, Mr. Arthur, be reasonable. We are getting married. Our children will go to international schools. They will rub shoulders with children of ministers and ambassadors. Can you imagine them being mocked for being named Miller? It is too ordinary, too common. Common? I repeat, trying to keep calm. That last name put food on your table. It bought that sofa where you are sitting, and it paid for the diamond ring you have on your hand. Vanessa lets out a laugh of total contempt. Money is money. The origin doesn't matter as long as it is clean, and Stephen is cleaning it by changing the name. Stephen Montgomery sounds like a world-class architect. But Stephen Miller, she shrugs, making a face. Sounds like the guy who fixes the plumbing? My blood boils in my face. She is insulting me in the very house my money bought. You are forcing him to deny his father. Vanessa walks up to me. She is tall, and with heels she looks me straight in the eyes. I do not force anyone. Stephen wants to do it. He desires to escape his grease-filled shadow more than I do. Did you know that every time you come to visit, as soon as you leave, Stephen calls a cleaning service to disinfect the apartment? He says your smell gives him nausea. Bam! That was like a bullet straight to the heart. Stephen had never told me that. But seeing Vanessa's triumphant look, I know she is not lying. Or if she is lying, the truth is just as cruel. My son is disgusted by me. Oh, really? I say, and my voice becomes strangely calm. The pain has transformed into something cold and hard like steel. Then I apologize for contaminating your air. Better sign at once, Vanessa adds, turning her back on me to go toward the bar. Do it for your son's happiness. You are old, Mr. Arthur. You are the past. Let us be the future. I look at her slender back. I look at this luxurious but soulless apartment. You are right, Vanessa. I am the past. But you forget one thing. Without a past, there is no future. I turn toward the elevator. Oh, and one more thing. I look back. Tell Stephen I will sign. I will sign on the very day of the engagement, in front of everyone. You want a grand entrance for the name Montgomery? I'm going to give you an entrance you will never forget. Vanessa smiles victoriously, raising her glass to me. Perfect. Thank you for your cooperation, Mr. Arthur. Remember to wear a suit, and please, shower well. The elevator doors close, hiding her arrogant smile. I stay in the cabin, going down to the ground at full speed. They think they won. They do not know that signature will be the death sentence for their golden future. A week passed like an endless nightmare. I received an envelope by urgent courier on Monday morning. It was not normal mail. It came from a super expensive private firm. The envelope was thick, heavy, with an urgent stamp in bright red. Sitting in my dusty office with the ceiling fan spinning and squeaking, squeak, squeak, over my head like a countdown, I used my wooden-handled knife, the one I have used to cut engine belts for 20 years, to rip open the envelope. Inside was a certified copy from the civil court. Decision on change of civil status of interested party. Stephen Miller. New name. Stephen Montgomery. The name hits my eyes, alien and sharp as a scalpel. He did it. He really did it. He cut the last tie with me, with his mother, with his grandfather. He killed Miller to be reborn as a stranger. Next to that came another file. Asset cession and corporate restructuring agreement. My phone rings. The name on the screen is still Son. the nickname I gave him since middle school. I look at the flashing screen, my thumb hesitating over the answer button. I take a deep breath and swallow the bitter lump in my throat. Hello? Did you receive the papers, Dad? Stephen's voice sounds without greeting, cold and cutting, like a CEO giving orders to some random employee. I have them in my hand, Stephen, or should I call you Mr. Montgomery? On the other side, a mocking chuckle is heard. Call me whatever you want, as long as you sign. Vanessa and I already bought tickets to Europe next week. We want to leave this settled before going. You know, to start from zero, clean. Clean, I repeat the word, feeling the acid taste in my mouth. You want to erase the Miller sign out there? The sign I hung with my own hands when you were a baby? It is old, Dad. It is rusty. It makes the neighborhood look ugly. Hire someone to redesign it. It will be Montgomery Automotive Group. Sounds much more elegant, right? The clients will be Porsche people, Ferrari, not those smelly truckers' friends of yours. I close my eyes. He is not only stealing the company. He wants to chase away my clients, my trucker brothers with whom I have spent so many hardships. And if I do not sign, I ask with a grave voice, then you will never see my face again. Stephen's voice becomes icy without a shred of humanity. Vanessa is pregnant. You are going to be a grandfather. My heart skips a beat. My grandson, but he continues, ruthless as an executioner. If you do not sign, that child will be born in Madrid. He will grow up without knowing who his grandfather is. He will only know his grandfather was a stubborn mechanic who died somewhere in Mexico or Texas. Do you want to die alone in that grease-filled shop, or do you want to hold the firstborn of the Montgomerys? You decide. He hangs up. The tone beep, beep, sounds eternal in my ear. It is not a proposal, it is a sentence. He uses my unborn grandson as a hostage. Damn it, how could I raise a demon so cold-blooded? I look at the file. The letters dance before my eyes. Article 1. Mr. Arthur Miller cedes all control, land, facilities, and brand to Stephen Montgomery. I reach for the bottle. I am shaking so much I spill whiskey on the table, soaking the judge's signature. That night, I did not go home. Why go to an empty and cold house? I stayed at the shop. I drank. I drank as if whiskey could wash away this humiliation. I walked stumbling between the rows of trucks, waiting for repair. In the darkness, they looked like giant metal monsters sleeping. Only they are faithful to me. Only they do not despise these dirty hands. I stopped in front of an old wrench hanging on the board, the first tool I bought with my first helper's salary at 15. It is worn, shiny from the sweat of my hands. Why? I screamed, and the echo bounced off the tin walls. Why, my God, what did I do wrong? I worked from sunup to sundown. I didn't gamble. I didn't chase women. I just wanted him to have a better life than mine. I threw the bottle against the wall. Crash. The glass exploded, scattering over the oil-stained concrete floor. I let myself fall to the ground, leaning my back on a huge truck tire. I cried. For the first time in 20 years since Emily died, I cried my eyes out like a child. I remembered Stephen as a little boy, the day he ran into the shop, face-stained, holding a toy screwdriver. Dad, I help you fix the car. What did I do? I yelled at him. Get inside the house right now. You are going to get your clothes dirty. Do not touch this trash. I myself planted the idea that my job was dirty, that it was trash. I wanted to protect him, but unintentionally I taught him to despise me. What a fool I was. I look at my hands under the moonlight coming through the window. Black, rough, broken nails. Stephen is right. These hands are disgusting. Maybe I should sign. Sign, and that's it. Let him sell the shop. Let him erase the name Miller. Maybe Miller deserves to be forgotten. I am already old. I cannot fight against him. He has education, lawyers, a future. I only have oil and a past. I take the pen out of my shirt pocket. I put the transfer paper on my lap. The cell phone light illuminates the line. Grantor, Arthur Miller. I put the pen on the paper. Just one signature, and I will be able to see my grandson. I will be able to be a grandfather, even if I am a despised grandfather, hidden at the back door. But at least I won't be alone. The fear of loneliness eats away at self-respect in a terrible way. Just then a noise comes from the metal shutter. The sound of the curtain chain rattle rattle snaps me out of my drunkenness. Who comes to the shop at 2 a.m? A thief? I get up on all fours and grab a 2-foot iron pipe. Who goes there? Show your face, I shout, slurring my voice but threatening. The curtain goes up halfway. A shadow crawls in. Boss? It is me, Jason. Jason, the foreman. He is wearing pajamas, flip-flops, and a scared face. Jason? What the hell are you doing here at this hour? I lower the pipe. I saw your truck in the yard. I passed by and saw the office light off, but the shop door unlocked from the inside. I got worried. I thought you had a heart attack or something. Jason approaches, wrinkling his nose at the smell of alcohol and seeing the mess of glass. He looks at the crumpled paper on my lap and the pen thrown on the floor. Are you going to sign that, Mr. Arthur? He asks quietly, eyes glued to the document. In the shop, everyone rumors about Stephen's name change. Bad news flies fast. I have no choice, Jason. I laugh bitterly, leaning back on the tire. He won. I am a finished old man. This last name, Miller, he says, is a shame. Jason stays quiet for a moment. He squats in front of me, not caring that the greasy floor dirties his clean pajamas. Boss, do you remember last week my youngest son got hit at school? I look at him without understanding. Huh? And what does that have to do with it? He fought with another kid because he told him his dad was a filthy mechanic. The teacher called me in. Do you know what my son said? I shake my head. Jason looks me straight in the eyes, and they shine with a rare pride. He told me, my dad is not dirty. That is the grease from the trucks that bring food to the whole city. If my dad doesn't fix the trucks, what do you eat? My dad is a hero who keeps this world rolling. I am proud to be the son of Jason Lopez, mechanic for Mr. Arthur Miller. I am stunned, he said. He said that for real? For real. And when we got home, he asked me to teach him how to hold the wrench. He wants to have hands like me. Jason opens his calloused hands and puts them next to mine. They are identical, black, rough, but strong. Mr. Arthur, honor is not in whether the name sounds elegant or not. Honor is here. Jason hits his left chest, where the heart beats, and here he points to his hands. If you sign that paper, you not only sell the shop, you sell my son's pride, mine, and your own. Are you going to let Stephen erase the name that so many people respect? Jason's words are like a bucket of cold water. My drunkenness goes down instantly. The son of a mechanic understands more about honor than my son with a master's degree. Stephen is ashamed of me. Jason's son is proud of his father. The difference is not in the blood. The difference is in the heart. I look at the transfer paper again. I no longer see fear. I see contempt. Contempt for my own weakness from a while ago. I ball up the paper and throw it hard against the broken glass. You are right, Jason. Damn, you're right. I get up, stumbling but with a straight back. The pain in my chest is still there, but it has changed. It is no longer the pain of loss. It is the pain of transformation. Jason, go to sleep. Come early tomorrow. We have work to do. What work, boss? I need to go see the lawyer. I am not going to sign my death sentence. I am going to sign his. Jason smiles, and his white teeth shine in the dark. That is the Mr. Arthur I know. Good night, boss. When Jason leaves, I stay alone in the shop. I no longer feel cold. A flame grows inside me, the flame of revenge. The next morning, I am at Lawyer Henderson's office at 8 sharp, before the secretary opens. I am wearing my oldest suit, but I am well shaved and combed. Henderson is already old, face wrinkled like a raisin, but his eyes behind the bottle-bottom glasses are still sharp. He looks at me and then looks at the file. Trust 1980 on the table. Arthur, are you sure? Once we activate this, there's no turning back. Stephen will lose everything. Not only the company, but every asset in the name of the trust. The apartment, the car, the accounts. He will be on the street, literally. I take a sip of my black and bitter coffee. He chose the street since he signed as Montgomery Henderson. I am just helping him fulfill his wish. Henderson sighs and opens the page of the clause. All right, let's review for the last time. Article 4, Identity Clause. Stephen violated it directly by changing his last name. This activates the tacit resignation. He taps his bony fingers on the paper. But the problem is in Article 5, Substitute Beneficiary. When Stephen loses his rights, who do they pass to? In the original from 1980, you left this blank because there was no one else. I know, I say, taking a small envelope out of my jacket. That is why I drafted this. The codicil of 2010. Do you remember? The year Stephen shouted at me for the first time that he wished I would die, so he could inherit. Henderson raises his eyebrows, takes the envelope and opens it, reads quickly, and then looks up with total astonishment. Are you serious, Arthur? This person is not of your blood. Does the law require the beneficiary of the trust to be of the same blood? No. It is a private trust. You decide. But it is your life's patrimony. Giving it to a stranger. He is not a stranger, Henderson, I interrupt firmly. He is family. Family are the ones who stay when the ship sinks. The one who carries my blood was the first to punch holes in the ship to save himself. Henderson stays quiet for a good while, and then nods slowly. A sly smile appears on the old lawyer's mouth. Agreed. Legally, this is solid as concrete. If Stephen signs the act confirming being Montgomery before the assembly, he himself will be locking the cell of his own prison. What is the plan? You need him to get confident. He has to believe you already gave up. He needs to organize that signing ceremony as big as possible. The more witnesses there are, the more irreversible his fall will be. I stand up and shake Henderson's hand. His hand is cold, but mine is colder. Don't worry. I am going to play the role of the defeated father to perfection. Leaving the office, I take out my cell phone. It is time to call Mr. Montgomery. It rings 3 times before he answers. What do you want? Did you decide yet? I am busy choosing tablecloths for the party. Stephen's voice sounds annoyed. I take a deep breath, adjusting my voice. I make it sound trembling, tired, older than I am. Stephen. Dad? Dad is sorry. Silence on the other end for a second. Satisfaction travels through the line. You are sorry? Meaning you accept. Yes. I am already old, son. I cannot fight with you. You are right. These times call for elegant names. Miller. It is just the past. I will sign. I will go to the party and sign everything you want. I only ask you, let me see my grandson when he is born. Stephen laughs loud, a triumphant and arrogant laugh. Ha, 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 ha. Finally, the old man came to his senses. Excellent, Dad. Vanessa will be very happy. This will be the best wedding gift. So what time do I arrive at the main entrance of the hotel? I ask, feigning submission. Stephen's voice lowers in tone, returning to that usual cruelty, and this time adds an extra 5% of poison I didn't imagine. Ah, about that. Dad, look, the guests are pure VIP, ambassadors, bankers, arriving in that old rusty truck at the main entrance. It would look very bad, very tacky. The valet parking guys don't even know how to drive those clunkers. So, what do? Enter through the back, through the service door. There is a freight elevator that takes you straight to the waiting room. Wait there until I call you. You come out on stage, sign, and then, well, you can leave early to rest. Through the back door, freight elevator, and then get out. He treats me worse than a guard dog. And one more thing. He adds, wanting to drive another nail into the coffin of our affection. Dad, please. Put your hands in bleach or do something. Don't bring black nails when you grab the pen. And put on a lot of cologne. I don't want the smell of oil to stick to Vanessa's dress. It is disgusting. I squeeze the phone so hard I feel like I'm going to break the screen. My blood boils, but my voice comes out soft, resigned. All right, son. I will bathe well. I will enter through the back. I won't embarrass you. Good. See you Saturday. Don't be late. He hangs up. I stand on the street full of people, lowering the phone. A cold smile draws on my face, not of joy, but the smile of a hunter watching his prey step into the trap. He wants me to enter through the back? Fine. I will enter through the back. He wants me to be clean? Fine. I will clean myself. I will clean him out of my life. Stephen hung up smiling, dreaming of his Montgomery skyscrapers, but he doesn't know that call was the moment he signed his own execution order. He just invited the executioner to his party and just gave him instructions from 1900 on how to enter to put the knife to his neck as fast as possible. Saturday, 7 in the evening, Grand Royal Hotel. I park my F-150 in the back alley next to the hotel kitchen dumpsters, just as Mr. Montgomery instructed. The smell of rotten food and leachate mixes with the scent of cheap Old Spice I just put on. A young security guard stops me at the service entrance. Hey, old man, this area is for service staff. Suppliers through the other door. I adjust my tie, which already has a frayed edge, and lift my head. I am not here to deliver anything. I am the groom's dad. The guard sweeps me with his gaze from head to toe. Looks at my old leather shoes that, although I shine them, still show the cracks. Looks at my broad and rough hands. Then he lets out a chuckle, not malicious, but full of pity. Mr. Montgomery's dad? Please, if he said his dad is an investor who's in Europe, well, come on in, uncle from the ranch. Use freight elevator number 3. Don't let the manager see you. I enter the freight elevator. The floor is sticky with food grease and has wheel marks from carts. What irony. This dirty elevator makes me feel more comfortable than the marble lobby out there. At least here the filth is honest. The elevator opens on the 3rd floor. The sound of soft classical music and the clinking of glasses reaches me. I go out and hide in a dark corner behind a giant red velvet curtain. The ballroom is impressively luxurious. Crystal chandeliers hang like giant tears. Fresh flowers flood the aisles. Gentlemen in black tuxedos and ladies in sparkling evening gowns hold champagne glasses, laughing and chatting about trivialities. And there is Stephen. He is in the center, shining like a god. Ivory-colored suit, hair gelled back. He is toasting with a fat man. I think he is the president of the Association of Architects. Vanessa is by his side, radiant and sharp as a knife dipped in gold. I take a deep breath and step out of my hiding place. Stephen sees me. The smile on his face turns off instantly, replaced by a frown of total alert. He excuses himself from the guests and pulls Vanessa quickly toward me, intercepting me near the area where waiters leave dirty dishes. "You are on time," he hisses through his teeth, looking everywhere in case someone sees us. "But what are you doing standing here? I told you to wait in the waiting room." "It was locked." I lie. "I wanted to be here to see him act," Stephen exhales with annoyance, making a face of disgust as he gets closer to me. He sniffs. "What did you bathe with?" "That cologne?" My God, smells like a neighborhood barber shop. Step away from Vanessa a little. She has nausea from the pregnancy. Vanessa covers her nose with a handkerchief, looking at me as if I were a cockroach that just came out of the pantry. "Mr. Arthur, please, do not touch anything, especially the food. Look at your nails. Even though you cut them, they look black still. The guests will lose their appetite. I look at my hands. I soaked them in Clorox for 30 minutes last night, until my skin turned red and stung. But the oil that has gotten into the meat for 40 years doesn't come out with bleach. Don't worry," I say with a raspy voice. "I am not hungry. I just came to sign. Good." Stephen adjusts my bow tie, a gesture that looks affectionate from afar, but is actually to push me back. "Stay still in this corner. Do not talk to anyone. Do not laugh loud. When the master of ceremonies calls the founder predecessor, you go straight up to the stage, sign where pointed, and go down through the emergency exit on the right. My driver will take you home. Understood?" "Understood, Mr. Montgomery." He nods, satisfied, and turns around to blend in with the crowd again, transforming back into Prince Charming. I stay there, alone in the dark, hugging the old file against my chest. The music sounds sweet, but in my ears I only hear the thump-thump of my heart. They don't know that the shadow standing in this corner is not a finished old man. It is the Grim Reaper sharpening the scythe. An hour later, the ballroom lights go down. A spotlight illuminates the center of the stage. Thunderous applause. Stephen goes up to the podium, taking the microphone with absolute confidence. Ladies and gentlemen, his voice resonates warm and convincing. Thank you all for being here to witness the birth of a new era. Today we not only celebrate my engagement to Vanessa, but also the birth of Montgomery Group. More applause. The giant screen behind projects the new logo. An M stylized in gold, elegant, modern. Not a trace of the wrench and gear of the old Miller Diesel Specialist logo. Many ask me, what is my secret to success? Stephen continues, pacing the stage. It is the courage to change. Courage to get rid of the old, of the obsolete mentality, of the burdens of the past, to reach excellence. Burdens. He calls me a burden in front of 500 people. And to formalize this, I want to invite to the stage a person who laid the first bricks, albeit rustic, necessary. My father, Mr. Arthur. The MC signals me. The spotlight sweeps the room and stops in the dark corner where I am. The light blinds me. I start walking. The room goes totally silent. My shoes hit the wood. Cluck, cluck, resonating clearly. I feel hundreds of eyes pinned on me. Curious looks, critical and some mocking giggles, whispering about my out-of-style suit. I go up to the stage. Stephen receives me with a loose hug, giving me 2 pats on the back. The kind of pats you give an employee. This is a historic moment, Stephen says into the microphone, passing me the expensive Montblanc pen. My father will sign the transfer document, officially handing over the torch to the Montgomery generation. They bring a small table. There is the transfer paper, open and ready. Stephen leans into my ear, whispering with that frozen smile for the photos. Sign fast and get out, old man. Don't embarrass me. I take the pen. It weighs tons. Stephen's cologne, Vanessa's makeup. The smell of fake money churns my stomach. I lean in. The tip of the pen touches the paper, but I don't sign. I stand still like a statue. 1 second, 2 seconds, 5 seconds. The silence starts to get uncomfortable. The band stops playing. Murmurs in the audience start to grow. Stephen gets impatient, clears his throat. Dad? Are you very emotional? Sign already. I raise my head slowly. I don't look at the paper. I look straight into Stephen's eyes. My old and tired eyes suddenly shine with a fire he had never seen. I take the microphone from the podium. 1 moment. My voice comes out firm. Without trembling, hard as a hammer hitting the anvil. There is a small confusion here. The whole room holds its breath. The silence is no longer curiosity. It is a deathly silence. The tension is so dense it could be cut with a knife. You can even hear the ice melting in the glasses at the farthest table. Stephen pales. He tries to take the microphone from me, but I take a step back, holding my old file up high. Before signing this paper, I say loudly, my voice booming in the great hall, I need to clarify the true ownership of the company you call Montgomery Group. What are you doing? Security? Stephen hisses, lunging toward me. Stay right there, I shout. The command shout of a man who has run a mechanic shop for 40 years makes Stephen freeze by instinct. Do you want everyone to hear the truth? Or do you prefer they see you drag this old man off the stage like a trash bag? The guests start murmuring louder. Cell phones and cameras rise in unison. Vanessa is petrified. With the glass trembling in her hand, I open the file and take out the yellowish sheet from 1980. Ladies and gentlemen, this company does not belong to me, and much less does it belong to young Stephen here present. It belongs to the Miller Family Trust, founded in 1980. I put on my reading glasses and read slowly, clear and strong like a judge handing down a sentence. Article 4, Blood Identity. The administrator and sole beneficiary of the trust must obligatorily bear the surname Miller legally. Any action intended to change, deny, or eliminate this surname will be considered a tacit resignation of inheritance rights. I pause, looking at Stephen's face, which is now white as paper. Stephen, you just bragged to the whole world that you changed your name to Montgomery. You have paraded that certificate everywhere like a trophy. I throw the transfer paper he gave me to the stage floor. Congratulations, Mr. Montgomery. With that new name, you just officially erased yourself from the list of beneficiaries. Legally, you are a stranger, and the Miller Trust does not support strangers. The room explodes in astonishment. Oh, what? It cannot be, resonates chaotically. Vanessa runs to Stephen's side, snatching the paper from me to read it. Her eyes bug out seeing the red seal and the notary's signature from 30 years ago. What the hell is this? Stephen, you told me you were the owner of everything, Vanessa screams, completely forgetting etiquette. The glamorous stage has turned into a battlefield. Stephen shakes, sweating profusely, ruining his makeup. He tries to laugh, a twisted and pathetic laugh. Ha 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 ha. Dad, what a good joke. Everyone, this is a joke from my dad. He has a very peculiar sense of humor. He turns to me, lowering his voice to beg, but with threatening eyes. Dad, stop it. Stop making a fool of yourself. Let's go inside to talk. A fool? I laugh with contempt. The only fool here is you, Stephen. Do you think a last name is a shirt you put on and take off when you want? Did you say Miller is a stain? That is fine. I keep the stain. You keep your elegance. Lawyer Henderson, who had been sitting silently at the VIP table, stands up, adjusts his tie, and goes up to the stage with a firm step. I confirm the legal validity of this document, Henderson says into the microphone. According to the law, at the exact moment Mr. Stevens signed his name change, he lost his legal status over all trust assets, including the shop, bank accounts, and also the penthouse where he lives and the car he drives. No, impossible, Stephen screams, lunging to grab Henderson by the lapels. I am his son. It is my blood. What law prohibits a son from inheriting from his father? Blood? I take a step forward and take his hands off the lawyer. You told me yourself. This is business, not family. Do you want to play by corporate rules? Let's play. It is a contract, Stephen. And you violated it. Stephen collapses. He looks around seeking help, but his strategic partners, his high society friends, avoid his gaze or whisper with contempt. No one wants to associate with someone who just went bankrupt publicly. Vanessa lets go of Stephen's arm as if it burned. You deceived me. You said you were the only heir. Damn you. Stephen turns to me, face full of snot and tears. The arrogance has disappeared. Only the cowardice of a spoiled child, whose candy was taken away, remains. Dad, I was wrong. I will change it back. Tomorrow I will go to the courthouse. I will be Miller. I will tattoo Miller on my forehead if you want. Don't do this to me. I look at him kneeling at my feet, clinging to my old khaki pants. Those same ones that gave him disgust a while ago. My heart shrinks, but my mind is cold as ice. Change it back? I ask. Yes. Right now. It is just a name. Yes, it is just a name. But dignity cannot be changed. I shake my head and take another paper out of the envelope, the one I showed Henderson the other day. Too late, Stephen. Article 5 of the trust is very clear. In case the main heir resigns or violates the identity clause, inheritance rights will pass immediately and irrevocably to the substitute beneficiary. Stephen looks up with eyes wide with terror. Substitute beneficiary? Who? You don't have anyone else? Mom died. You don't have anyone? Vanessa shrieks. Do you have a bastard son? You miserable old man. I smile. A smile of relief? No. I don't have stray children, but I have a real son. One who never asked me to enter through the back door. One who never asked me to bleach my hands. I look toward the back of the room, near the entrance. Turn on the light, I order. The spotlight points over there. There, hidden shyly behind the door, is a man in a cheap suit, rented in a rush, that fits a little tight on his robust body. He has a glass of water in his hand and a scared face. "Jason Lopez," I call out loud. "Come up here." The whole room turns around. "Jason, the mechanic?" Jason walks trembling, passing between rows of rich people who wrinkle their noses at his humble appearance. He goes up to the stage. He stands by my side, head down and twisting his calloused hands. Stephen jumps to his feet, red with anger and humiliation. This one, this cat. "Are you crazy? He is an Indian. He didn't even finish high school. He is the servant who washes my car." "Shut up!" I slap Stephen. Smack! Dry and loud. A slap loaded with 28 years of disappointment. The room gasps again. This Indian. I hugged Jason by the shoulders, forcing him to stand straight. Stood by my side when I got sick. "While you were in Dubai, he stayed awake all night fixing trucks to deliver on time. While you were throwing money away at the casino, he teaches his son to be proud of being a mechanic, while you teach yours to despise his grandfather." I turned to Henderson. "Read it." Henderson reads with a powerful voice. "According to the codicil of 2010, all assets, the brand, and the operation of Miller Diesel Specialists, including real estate subsidiaries, are transferred unconditionally to Mr. Jason Lopez." Jason opens his mouth. "Beat, boss. What does it say?" I cannot. Take it, son." I push the file into his hands. My calloused hands touch his. A generational transfer, not of blood, but of sweat. You deserve it more than anyone. Keep the Miller name alive. Do not let it die. Stephen howls like a wounded animal and tries to snatch the file, but 2 huge security guards appear and hold him by the arms. "Let me go. I am Montgomery. I am the owner of this hotel." "Ah, no. I am—" he stammers, realizing he is no one. I look at him for the last time. There is no longer anger, only deep pity. "Exactly. You are Montgomery, and I am sorry, Mr. Montgomery. But this party is paid for by the Miller Trust, and the trust just decided to suspend funding immediately." I address the stunned crowd. "The party is over. Whoever wants dinner, pay your bill." Jason is on stage, holding the thick file with trembling hands. He looks at the crowd below. People who a moment ago looked at him with contempt for his cheap suit, and now they look at him as if he grew wings. "Boss, Mr. Arthur," Jason stammers, sweating cold. This is too big. I only know how to fix cars. How am I going to manage a company?" I put my hand on his shoulder, feeling the solidity of a working man. "That is why I chose you, Jason. You know how to fix what is broken." That one, I point with my chin to Stephen, who struggles with the guards, only knows how to throw away the old to chase fantasies. Stephen kicks and screams, purple with shame. His true nature, that classism and racism he tried to hide under an intellectual facade, comes out without filter. "You are crazy, old man. You give the heritage to an Indian? Look at him. He doesn't even know how to use silverware. He is going to turn the company into a pigsty." "Shut up," Vanessa screams, not to defend me, but because she realizes the ship is sinking too fast. I get close to Stephen. I look deep into his eyes, looking for some trace of that little boy, but I only see hate and greed. "Stephen, you call him Indian? This Indian stayed guarding the shop all night when Hurricane Alex hit, while you were partying in Cancun. This Indian carried me on his back to the ER when I had the heart attack last year, while you said you were in a meeting. He does not carry my blood, but he carries my heart." I turn to the people and declare, "From this moment, Jason Lopez is the CEO. Any decision on assets, personnel, and debts will be made by him." Jason takes a deep breath. He looks at me, then he looks at his calloused hands. His look changes. From fear, it passes to determination. He understands this is not a gift, it is a responsibility. He has to protect the honor of the mechanics. Jason takes a step forward and looks straight at Stephen. "Young Stephen," Jason says with a calm and stable voice, "I may be an Indian mechanic, but at least I never changed my father's last name to get an entry." That phrase hurts more than my slap. People let out an oof. Some start to applaud. first a few, then louder. They don't applaud because they love Jason, but because they love the drama and hate Stephen's fakeness. But the play is not over. I signal Henderson. It is time for the final economic blow. Henderson takes out another document and adjusts his glasses. Mr. Montgomery. He emphasizes the new last name with sarcasm. Given that you are no longer a beneficiary of the trust, we are obligated to execute the corporate asset recovery clauses. Stephen blinks. Recovery? Of what? The apartment is mine. The car is mine. False, Henderson responds coldly. On paper, the penthouse in Sophia Tower is property of Miller Real Estate. The Porsche Cayenne you drive is property of Miller Transport. You only had right of use as a family member. Now that you are a stranger, you are making improper use of assets. Vanessa turns pale as wax, grabs Stephen by the arm, digging her nails in. Stephen, tell me he is lying. The apartment is in your name. I, Stephen stammers. He signed for the company to be the owner and thus evade inheritance taxes. A clever trick which has now become the rope around his neck. Henderson looks at his watch. We filed an urgent eviction order with the court this morning, just after confirming your name change. The order was approved 10 minutes ago. You have 24 hours to empty the apartment. 24 hours? Are you crazy? Where are we going to go? That is not company business. Henderson shrugs. Ah, and the Porsche that is in the valet parking. Our guards already put a boot on it and recovered the spare key. No, it is the wedding car, Stephen screams, trying to get off the stage, but his legs fail him and he falls to his knees. I approach and look down at my son, totally destroyed. Can you imagine, son? I whisper, soft but lethal. You wanted to be sophisticated. Now you are a sophisticated hobo. You have a pretty name, a pretty label, but not $1 in your pocket. I turn to Vanessa, who is standing like a statue of salt. Vanessa, dear gold digger, I hope your love for Montgomery is big enough to sleep with him under a bridge tonight. Or does your love also have an expiration date like the credit card I just canceled? Vanessa lets go of Stephen. She looks at him, then looks at the diamond ring on her hand. A ring I know perfectly well Stephen bought with the additional corporate card. She takes off the ring. Vanessa, what are you doing? Stephen looks up, pleading. No. We can start over. I am a good architect. I will make money. Make money? Vanessa laughs and throws the ring at his chest. Do you think anyone is going to hire an architect who just got disinherited publicly by his own father? You are the laughingstock of the whole city, Stephen. Your name is trash. But I love you. I love security, Stephen. I love a man who can protect me, not an idiot who lied to me about his fortune. You are a fraud. Smack! Another slap for Stephen, not mine, but from the woman he was going to marry. Vanessa turns around, her dress waving, and goes down the stage without looking back. People move aside to let her pass, as if she had a contagious disease. Stephen crawls on the floor, looking for the ring, crying his eyes out. He looks around. His friends, beep, are already leaving. They cover their mouths to laugh, pointing at him. Let's go. The show is over. Poor guy. He thought he won the lottery and only got scrap metal. The name Montgomery sounds good for a waiter. Those whispers are needles in his skin. What does he have left? No money, no house, no car, no wife, no family. He turns to me. This time the haughtiness has gone completely. He crawls and hugs my legs. Dad, forgive me. I was wrong. Don't leave me. I will be a mechanic. I will wash cars. Let me go back to the shop. I have nowhere to go. I look at the crown of his head. The perfect hairstyle is now a mess. I once caressed that head, promising to protect him always. But that little boy already died. The one at my feet is Stephen Montgomery, a stranger. Do not call me Dad, Mr. Montgomery. I take his hands off my legs and shake my pants like dusting off dirt. At Miller Diesel Specialists, we only hire expert and honest mechanics. You are neither of the two. Didn't you say oil is disgusting? Don't stain your white suit. I turn my back. A strange lightness invades my soul. The pain in the chest has disappeared, leaving a cold but calm hollow. Let's go, Jason. I pat the foreman's shoulder, now general manager. It smells too much like cheap perfume here. I miss the smell of engine oil. Jason nods, hugging the file like a treasure. Yes, Mr. Arthur. Tomorrow we have to do the major adjustment to Mr. Rodriguez's trailer. Exactly. Work comes first. 2 men, 1 old and 1 young, go down the stage. We walk between the rows of empty chairs, stepping on the red carpet with our old shoes. No one dares to block our path. The dignity of work radiates from us with more strength than any jewel. Behind our backs, on the luxurious but lonely stage, Stephen is still sitting there, clutching the name change paper and the rejected ring. His crying resonates, pathetic and hollow in the huge hall. Dad, come back. Dad. I do not turn around, not once. A man never looks back at the trash he just threw away. We leave through the back door of the hotel, that same one Stephen forced me to enter. The night air hits us fresh on the face. The sky is starry and clean. Do you regret anything, Mr. Arthur? Jason asks in a low voice. As we get out of the old truck, I start the engine. The V8 roars familiar, vibrating the seats, the sound of life. My only regret, Jason, I say, staring straight ahead, is waiting so long to teach him this lesson. An hour later, we arrive at the shop. Total silence. Only crickets and the smell of diesel. This is home. This is my castle. I enter the office, take off the suffocating tie, and throw it on the armchair. I go toward the wall, full of photos. I take down the photo with Stephen the day of his graduation. In the photo, he smiles forcedly. I smile with pride. A lie framed in glass. I go out to the yard where the metal barrel for burning trash and old rags is. The fire burns, illuminating my face full of wrinkles. I throw the photo into the fire. The glass explodes. The flames lick Stephen's smile, turning it into black ash that flies toward the night sky. Jason is behind, observing in silence. Repaint the Miller sign. Make it shine well, I say without turning, and put your name below. Jason Lopez, General Manager. Yes, boss. I look at the ashes flying in the wind. I do not feel sadness. I feel clean. Finally, I washed away the true stain of my life. It was not the oil. It was the illusion of a rotten sun. I turned to look at Jason, the son born of sweat and loyalty. The last name is inherited, but family is earned. And he only earned a pretty name to put on his tombstone. If this story has captivated you, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share your thoughts in the comments. To hear the next story, click on the box to the left of the screen. Thanks for watching.